Hello everyone and welcome to my channel Drama Area. In this video I will show you all the films of Joon Gi. But before we start, support me guys and subscribe to my YouTube channel. His film number 1 is Libera Me. The film is aired on November 11, 2000. And Joon Gi played a guest role as the boy in the crowd. The film is about 5 months after his release from prison after serving a 12-year sentence. Arsonist Yeo Hee-soo terrorizes the city of Seoul with a series of deadly blazes. Hee-soo rigs each fire so that a second, far more lethal conflagration ignites shortly after the firefighters have arrived, causing further casualties. He then turns his attention to those members of the department he feels are interfering with his mission, which develops into a game of cat and mouse with veteran fireman Jo Sang-woo. His film number 2 is The Hotel Venus. The film is aired on September 10, 2004. And Joon Gi played a support role as Boy. The film is about, in the remotest town which is not specifically identified, there is a shabby hotel with a cafe called Venus Cafe, where people emotionally wounded come. This is a bittersweet, heartwarming story about the relationship of Chonan, who works at the cafe, and the people living in the Hotel Venus. Would the time come when they smile? His film number 3 is Flying Boys. The film is aired on December 3, 2004. And Joon Gi played a support role as Jang Dong-won. The film is about best buddies Min Jae, Dong-won, and Chong Sop share all the common problems of high school seniors. They struggle against their parents and other peers to establish their own identities, fall for girls, eat, drink, and stress about college entrance exams and what school they'll get into. Min Jae's father is a commercial pilot who expects his son to follow in his footsteps. However, not only does Min Jae not share his father's ambition, his grades and test scores don't qualify him to get into an aviation program. Meanwhile, his neighbor and crush, Soo Jin, has decided she wants to become a veterinarian, despite the fact she's too afraid of animals to even touch a puppy. Sadly, her family takes very little interest in her future until the night her mother overhears another girl confessing her love to Soo Jin. Mom decides what her daughter really needs is to take ballet classes at the local community center. It will be good for your posture and help you look more like a real girl, she says. Unfortunately for ballet instructor Mrs. Yang, though, her class is on the verge of being cancelled due to lack of attendance. Her only enthusiastic students are a waiter at the neighborhood Chinese restaurant and the video store owner. Even the middle-aged housewives who joined are quitting after a few weeks because they aren't losing the weight they'd expected to. The lives of all of these characters collide one night when Mrs. Yang catches Min Jae driving drunk, without a license, and in his father's borrowed car. She blackmails him and his friends into taking ballet, thereby saving her class from being cancelled. His film number 4 is The King and the Clown. The film is aired on December 29, 2005. And Joon Gi played a main role as Gong Gil. The film is about at the height of the 16th century Joseon dynasty, a pair of rural male actors, boisterous, macho Jang Seng and quiet, feminine Gong Gil, travels to Seoul and team up with a struggling acting troupe. When their irreverent show, complete with enough body humor and gender bending to make a contemporary audience blush, mocks the famously hedonistic king, they get more than they bargained for. His film number 5 is Fly, Daddy, Fly. The film is aired on August 3, 2006. And Joon Gi played a main role as the film is about an ordinary businessman in his 40s, Jang Gi-pil returns home one day to find his daughter attacked by teenage hoodlums, including school boxing star Kang Tae-wook. Realizing that he has no background and money to fight back, he plans to stab Kang on the way to school. This fails miserably. But another student named Go Seung-suk agrees to teach Gi-pil to fight, in only 45 days. His film number 6 is Virgin Snow. The film is aired on May 12, 2007. And Joon Gi played a main role as Min Kim. The film is about Min moves to Japan following his professor father. One day at a local shrine, he meets a beautiful, long-haired Japanese girl with innocent eyes. Her name is Nani, and she is an aspiring painter. Min falls for her at first sight. He longs for her, but soon learns that Nani attends the same school to which Min has just transferred. Min befriends Nani, and despite the cultural and language barriers, they become fast friends, taking in the famous sights of Kyoto. Their feelings for each other grow, and on a visit to a ceramic store, Nani promises someday to paint Min's portrait on the pottery that is made by him. Min continues to learn the craft from his father, and he comes to realize that he has to put all of his heart, the kind of love he feels for Nani, into making the pottery for it not to crack. Because of his grandmother's sudden illness, Min has to return to Korea to be with her. He cannot get in touch with Nani, and he becomes anxious. After his grandmother regains her health, he hurries back to Japan to look for Nani, but she is nowhere to be found. Have his true feelings for Nani not reached her? Why has Nani disappeared without a word? His film number 7 is May 18th. The film is aired on July 25, 2007. And Joon Gi played a main role as Kang Jin-woo. The film is about having lost his parents at a young age. Min-woo takes care of his younger brother Jin-woo much like a father would. He harbors a secret crush on Shin Ae, a nurse. He meets at a church gathering, and persuades her to go on a date with him to the movies. But not long after the film begins, they hear the sound of sirens and are rushed out of the theater. Outside, they find chaos in the streets, tear gas dances wildly and soldiers mobilized for crowd control have taken to violent beatings. Bewildered and enraged, the citizens form a militia, determined to protect the ones they love, and Min-woo finds himself in the middle of it all. His film number 8 is Never Said Goodbye. The film is aired on August 9, 2016. And Joon Gi played a main role as Jun Ho. The film is about a Korean exchange student in Shanghai who falls in love with a local Chinese girl. Thanks for watching, guys. Here is all the films of Joon Gi. I hope you loved the video. See you in the next one. Bye bye.